you've just got to try.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. Just got to try and keep talking for the minute, and whoever like says like somebody's hesitating or debating, and that they take over that time. We're going to time for the minute, and then whoever's left talking at the end, they're the winner. Does that make sense?
Cool.
Okay, so we might as well spin the wheel and find out who's going to be talking first.
Let me know when to start the timing.
Okay.
The other people talk.
And
Julie's ready to time.
Brilliant. And I think
it.
and I think Kev is picking the subject when we know who it is.
Yep.
Yes.
We have a winner. Angel, what's Angel's subject?
Well-being.
Oh, you have a minute on well-being.
Starting from
well-being. Usually what I do for my well-being is I like to take walks, and I have this little Zen garden. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I have this little Zen garden it's a Japanese Zen garden with sand, and I kind of just use that for my well-being as well. But I also try to tell people a lot about meditating. I think it really helps, mostly in this fast-paced world that we live in with social media and then just trying to get out. I think it's helpful for their well-being. How much time do I have?
Beep, hesitation.
3 seconds.
Oh my God, I cut in at the end there. That's how you win this. Okay, I've got 8 seconds on well-being.
Yeah.
Well-being is something I don't know if I know an awful lot about. It's about being well. Am I there?
No, you actually have 20 seconds.
Just stop.
Oh man, somebody else could have taken it. I think Julie.
Was I on 7?
You don't restart the minute.
Oh, well, never mind. Sorry.
Oh my God.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Let's try one more run and just
Okay.
Go on, spin
how
that
we get
one.
on. I'm going to spin the wheel again. We have a winner, Ellen.
That's okay to the win, Vanessa. That's okay to the win.
What's Ellen's subject?
Money.
Oh,
Sorry, did you mention my name?
yeah, you got picked, Ellen.
Oh,
All right,
right.
let's start again.
Okay. And what should I should choose a subject?
No, it's been chosen for you. It's money.
All right. So I see that money is a symbolic asset that start to be used to make like a payment. What?
My apologies.
Okay. So it's a symbolic asset that start being used to kind of facilitate some exchange, like you know, you have a plantation of basil and you don't need all this basil, so you can offer to your neighbors basil and or rosemary, let's say, and then you can get other things like rice and etc. etc. So I think money start to kind of facilitate this thing.
That's a minute.
That's a minute.
Hooray!
Yeah, someone won.
It's not often that somebody manages a whole minute without any pause. That's excellent. Well done. Okay, should we move on to our next game?
Yes. Is this the income?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So first of all, have we got Andy or Ian there? Because
No.
they were going to do Are You Rich
No.
or Poor?
No. So
Okay, well, I can take that if you want.
okay, yeah, if you want to.
Okay, so we, in our discussions, we've noticed that the amount of money you have affects how much you're listened to and how seriously you're taken, but often well-off people might never experience that or even notice it. So we're just gonna go around people and just ask, do you feel in your life like you're rich or like you're poor? Where do you think you sit? Just to give a warning that this can involve talking about quite personal topics when you start, and you can sort of start talking about it and then think, I didn't actually want to say this. So we are going to ask everyone to speak in turn, but you can opt out if you like, or you can talk about a time in the past if you want to keep your privacy. So I'm going to ask people to be relatively brief, but let's start. I'm looking at my screen. Jonathan, you're at the top of it. Do you feel like you're rich or like you're poor?
Hi, everyone. It's a very interesting question because it varies depending on time of day, time of the month, time of the year. And overall, I do feel rich. To me, feeling rich is very much about not feeling stymied in terms of what you can buy to look after yourself. So I've never gone hungry. I've always been able to get food. I've always been able to pay the electricity bills. I've always been able to hit the end of the month or have access to credit, which means that I am far wealthier than most people in the world. And certainly, I have members of my family who are less well off. So yeah, I do feel rich in that regard. However, I also qualify it with I feel like there's almost a point in life where you don't feel like there's anything more you want that money can get you. And that's probably also, I associate that with a feeling of being rich. And I'm not there, and I never really want to be there, because the whole desire of having something just out of reach very much is a healthy thing in, I suppose, the well-being of me. I like to strive for things. I like to feel like there's something to go after. If you feel like you've got everything, it can be very demoralizing.
Yeah, what would you do next? Exactly. Interesting. Thank you so much. Amelia, do you feel like you're rich or like you're poor? Is she there? Oh, she is. Excellent.
Well, I will not say that I'm poor, neither will I say I'm rich. Maybe kind of average, because I'm able to foot my bills. I get food to eat. I'm able to help others. So I feel like I'm in between. And if I go up a little bit higher, I will love it, because if I want something and I have enough money to go and buy it, I'm happy. But if you need something and there's not enough money to buy, it doesn't feel good. Doesn't depress me anyway, but it doesn't really feel good. So money answers all things. It's good. So I'm in between. That's what I'll say.
Interesting. Thank you very much. I noticed we've got a couple of new people who've popped in, so I'm going to come to Baba Elliott if you're there. Do you feel rich or do you feel poor, or something in between, or are you off the scale?
Hello everyone. For me, I think it depends on what aspect, because is it based on in monetary value or general?
It's a good question.
Yeah, so I was asking, is it only focused only on the monetary value or in general? Because when it comes to rich and poor, sometimes if it's not only based on monetary, I would say there are some aspects that I feel rich, and also there are some aspects that I feel poor. as well. So I would say in the middle. And when it's only focused on the monetary, I also say at the middle, because I think I can sustain myself or even support others to get their basic needs. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you. And
Thank you.
Ed Thompson has come in as well. Ed, do you feel like you're rich or poor? Or neither, or both? Or I'm not sure if is he there? I'm not sure if he is. Well, let's go to Stephen then. Where do you stand on this one?
Well, I'm able to put food on the table, and pay the bills mostly. So that makes me rich. But I have to spend a lot of time to do that, and that makes me poor. So it's a bit of both, really.
Yeah. Dan, you've just come in. Nice to see you. We're just going around and talking about briefly whether we feel rich or poor, or both or neither.
Hi, Vanessa. It's a good question. I guess it depends on the mood. Generally, I feel very rich and blessed because I'm healthy and I don't need to worry about shelter and where I sleep. But then again, some days I feel very poor, like emotionally, and then it's for me it's a state of mind, really. Obviously you have to have the basics covered, but I also talk to homeless people in Berlin who I meet regularly, and for them it's a choice, and they say, no, I don't want to participate in the system, and I'm more myself when I'm not doing the grind or living in the system. And I guess for some people they can be happy and rich also when they are like materialistically poor for others. And I think that's inspiring, and that's really something extraordinary that should be I don't know if you can teach it in school, but if you could, it should be done.
I think they could. I think they just won't. I don't know.
Sadly.
But I'm going to hand back to Kev now for the next part of this game, because I think some interesting things have come out. So, yeah, on you go.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to be asking people, like, how much does it cost in Ada to like live your lifestyle? So that'll be, like if you've got any subscriptions to anything, your electric and gas bills, phone bills, and rent, that kind of thing, mortgages, just so that you can, like, how much it would cost you to live like quite comfortable.
So I'm going to play a little bit of music while people work that out.
Yeah, and then we want you to change your names to that.
La hierba de los caminos la pisan los caminantes. La hierba de los caminos la pisan los caminantes. Y a la mujer del obrero la pisan 4 tunantes de esos que tienen dinero. Y a la mujer del obrero la pisan 4 tunantes de esos que tienen dinero. ¿Qué culpa tiene el tomate que está tranquilo en la mata? ¿Qué culpa tiene el tomate que está tranquilo en la mata? Y viene un hijo de puta y lo mete en una lata y lo manda pa' Caracas.
So I did not.
Y viene un hijo de puta y lo mete en una lata y lo manda pa' Caracas.
How's everybody doing? Have you got your number?
Well, I have that because he's got Jack and Millie to give him feed all the time, isn't it?
Of course, our problem here, which we didn't anticipate in a town hall, is that you can't change your name, can you? Oh, you can. Oh, they have. They've let us.
Right.
Can you all do it, or is it just the host that can do it?
I
think
can't
it's-
change my name.
No, it's just the host.
Oh,
So we have to
man.
post it in chat, maybe.
That's so annoying. Yeah, go on. All right, let's do that then. Let's post our numbers in chat. In Ada, what do you need a month to live your life?
That's not a month.
35,000, Stephen. Wow, that was unexpected.
I got it wrong.
You did.
Yeah, it's that is more than enough.
Got a football team to finance as well.
I do. I've got expensive taste.
Private five-a-side team.
Yeah, it's more like that. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's more like it. Yeah. Any other contributions? Does anybody want to give their number? Oh, we've got quite a few more people come in. Nice to see everybody. What we're doing is we're working out what it costs in Ada for a month to live your life. So anything that you consider essential, whether it's your rent and your bills, or whether it's something else in your lifestyle that you couldn't do without, and work out that monthly total in Ada and stick it in the chat.
Which one now? This one here?
They can hear us.
It's really interesting to see the range of like different people's, and what we were going to try and do is ask people to rename themselves with their figure, because often we think your wealth or your poverty is almost like a label that you carry. So unfortunately, because of the restrictions on a town hall, we can't do that, but at least we can see it in the chat. But I think, Kev, you've got some questions for people.
Yeah. Yeah, so can I go to Dan, because I think he put his as the lowest that I noticed. There might be somebody else that's noticed. And do you feel in control of your life with money? Is there?
I don't know if
You mean me?
Yes, Dan.
What was the question? Sorry.
Do you feel in control of your life with money?
No, not at all. But I'm very lucky. I have friends and family that support me, and most of the money goes to food and my dog, and electricity and internet. But other than that, I'm good. I don't have any subscriptions. I try to run free trials and then just use another email. I mean, I do have an email subscription. I do have some work stuff, but that is like covers itself. So this is not for me personally. I just calculated for my personal life. Yeah. But I'm very bad with money, so I don't try to have too much. I try to make a few good investment decisions and then just leave it at that, and try to not have much money around.
I like that
Because I
one.
just spend it useless.
Yeah, and then same question to Jonathan, because he was the highest, I think. Yeah.
Yes. Well, it kind of looks scary writing it down. It's a very good thing to think about. What was the question? Sorry.
Do you feel in control of?
I do feel in control, yes. And I think put that down to I've got so many people dependent on me. We're a family of 5, and then there's extended people that we help as well. And you know, that means that you have to be very controlled. So everything's very tightly controlled. There's no overspending. And yeah, so it's a chore, really. It's hard work. So yeah, there's, you know, it always comes back to, is there freedom with what you've got? And there is, but it's not, you know, time poor and money rich is not a good place to be, really. So I would like to replace more of my money making with time. That'd be great. But then you've got responsibilities and dependence that it's not possible currently. It will be one day. And I'll retire, and then I'll, yeah, live off Cheerios and be happy.
Yeah, and then Angel, like, do you ever find that people judge you when it comes to money?
I wouldn't say so. Actually, I actually grew up around like really humble friends. So I was lucky. I was like, I would say I went to a school where most of my peers were well off. And I came from a family that wasn't at the same level, I would say. But the friend group that I became friends with, they were really humble people. So I just think it matters who you surround yourself with. And then they've always just been, they didn't judge me by my money, but by my character.
Yeah. So we do Amelia. What kind of a lifestyle do you think that your money gets you?
This amount is it basic need. So will be used on food for me and my family. And I mean, not really high. It's not as high as it may look, and it is not low too. So it's kind of economic amount. It's an economic amount. Yeah.
Should we try one more question? Who hasn't spoken? I think either Ricardo or Zoe haven't spoken yet.
Yeah. So we can quickly ask the others, like, you know, just to give a contrast of different countries. I suppose if everyone could do this, just to say that what country you're in and what the cost of a pint of milk is.
Yeah.
Just see how.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, everybody. So my name is Ricardo. I am from El Salvador, actually. So was born there. And when I was 18, I moved over to Germany, where I've been living since then. So I've been more part of my life in Germany than I was in El Salvador. And yeah, for me, it was quite a surprise after my first visit, being 2 years in Germany, going back and realizing the big differences that we have in society in my country, in El Salvador. And if you look at minimum wages there, you're looking somewhere around 230, 270 US dollar per month for basic work. Yeah, if you look in Germany, you're looking at a more or less factor of 10 to 15, depending on the type of work. You know, even let's say someone working on repairing stuff, etc., can earn quite good salaries in Germany, for example. Yeah, so it's an eye opener, and I'm glad also I came to Cardano because I see a lot of possibilities going forward to help people in developing countries. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're starting a non-profit organization here with friends from work. So where the goal is to support other associations that are doing non-profit work, and yeah, showing them, the possibilities of the digital world of Web3. So yeah, quite exciting times, and a lot of discussions with the tax authorities here.
Yeah, I imagine.
Yeah, and just looking in the chat about the milk, it's probably the same price.
In Germany, you would pay like €1.20. In El Salvador, you would pay almost the same.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's probably just straight across the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that rolls us quite neatly into the next question that we were going to ask because of what Ricardo was just mentioning. We had a question, what do you think crypto actually can do for people on a low income? And has anybody got anything that they'd like to say on that?
I would have one point, if I may.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in El Salvador, a lot of people do not have a bank account. And the reason for that is that many people do not have a physical address, with a street number, address, etc., house number. That's why they do not get really access to the banking system. At the same time, they can access loans, but it's more or less from private institutions or people, and they charge somewhere between 30, 35, up to 45% of even for collateralized loans, like for a home or for a piece of land. Yeah, so I think this is where crypto can do a big difference by providing people with digital identities, and they can gradually and slowly build their credit, without the need to have a physical address in a bank account.
Yeah, we used to have that problem in this country a lot, but we've got one of the major banks now that are doing it where you can actually get a bank account without. So that's probably why we don't see it a lot in this country. Like, for that reason. But yeah, definitely in other countries where this isn't possible, to them guys, it's very.
That's called a basic bank account, isn't it? In the UK, you can get a basic bank account, but it's no frills. It's just
basically you get your money paid in, and then you can take it out again.
It's just
even if you don't have a physical address.
No, you don't need the address. I think they use the address of the bank.
But it's been something that's
like how it
relatively,
works, because as well, like and because for a while you couldn't get benefits as well without an address, but then you were able to use like the benefits office address as your own address. So so I can imagine that, if you're in like El Salvador and you're trying to get on benefits with no bank account, then that's going to be impossible.
Sure. There is another area where I see a huge potential for people from those countries, developing countries, and that is in providing services, for example, programming, or if you're a photographer, in Illustrator, and you can do some work via the internet, then you can ask for fair pay, for remuneration for what you do. So it's like, we have these shops here in Germany where you pay a little bit more for a piece of chocolate, but the people that are producing it are getting a bit more also. So I see a similar potential for services, especially in the IT and creative area.
I see Zoe's got her hand up. Have you got a comment?
It's not something that exists at the moment and stuff, but what I see in crypto as potential is an infrastructure for actually universal basic income. And that's apart from the volatility of the market and stuff. And of course, thinking about an ideal world that isn't that crappy system. It's for me, it's one big aspect of crypto is that it's a potential infrastructure for that.
Yeah, I'd like to think so. One of the problems that we have talked about is that most countries, I think probably, but certainly the UK, they don't really understand crypto, and it's really difficult to know if it's going to affect your benefits and if you're going to be taxed in a way that you wouldn't want. Does anybody think that puts people off actually creating a wallet and actually getting involved?
I think it's kind of everything about it. We don't have regulations. It's the media focuses on the price and drops and pumps and dumps. It's just not. It's just everything around it, and we just talked about. I think that's the off-putting part. There's not. And also everything that would be cool is a topic on itself. I mean, you could try discussing universal basic income with random people. You will get pushback and stuff. And I think that's just changes new stuff. I don't know everything.
Amelia.
Yeah, I want to contribute about the crypto in Ghana. Sometimes I would even want to expect that those highly educated who are in the banks would even know about crypto and Cardano blockchain. But when you mention it, they don't seem to even have a clue about it. And that is the challenge here. So, and they don't even want to accept it. So that's why we are even focusing on students who most of them know about Bitcoin, and having that basis, then they are able to understand the Cardano and work with it. But those already in employment, the adult population, they just refuse to know about crypto because they think it's not money you can use. They don't know how you are going to get it in CDs and actually use it. So that's the gradual education. I believe that it will help solve the economic, because stories are just nothing. They don't wood and just taking long. We should go on and to educate in this.
You broke up a bit there, Amelia, but what I heard was like really important stuff. Yeah, I think you're right. Ricardo.
Yeah, so I think every country. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I think every country has its own challenges. Um, Living in Germany and being now in my mid 40s, I realize the skepticism that is there in the country. Everything you read in the press, as someone said before, is more the negative. Also the speculative part, etc., etc. Nobody's talking about any of the opportunities out there. I think because the banking system is very well established here and very stable, very secure. Yeah, I guess Germans by nature are more conservative when it comes to finances. So even before COVID here, you could not really pay all over the place with a card. You always had to have cash on you. And I think it's important to, like, in the terms of adoption, develop a strategy for each and every country or each and every region. And yeah, tackle it step by step, gradually. Yeah, that would be my take on that.
Angel, I'll let you go, and then I had a comment as well, but go on.
Sorry, I just have a quick question about, is it Homeless Posse or Pose?
That's Homeless Posse.
Posse, okay. That's what I was thinking too, but I think they introduced you as Pose. So I was like, I just want to
Oh,
make
did
sure.
she? I didn't.
Yeah.
So there was a comment in the chat and I didn't understand what the comment was because I didn't hear that. That's quite funny.
So Posse then, yeah.
Oh dear. Yeah, I guess what I was going to say is it reminds me a little bit where we're at with cryptocurrencies or with blockchain technology generally. Reminds me a little bit of the very late 90s and the internet. There were people who used it. It had been around for a few years, but it was mostly academics and geeks. And nobody really thought it was ever going to be a commercial thing that really took over. Some people would say it would be, and people would just roll their eyes. And the thing that then happened is that it became a commercial thing. And people who were skint and people who were marginalised were left behind. And it ended up being this thing where there was a digital divide. And people who had enough wealth to have found out about the internet were able to make money out of it and work with it. And the excluded remained excluded. What I'm thinking is how, or is it even possible for people who are living on the margins and living in poverty, basically, because your life is so tightly controlled by the government and what you can and can't do, and you don't want to mess up your benefits. Is there any hope for people to even work with or get involved with crypto on any level?
Yeah, this was also the thought, that me and my colleagues from work had. What we're doing with our Web3 nonprofit organization here in Germany is we're going to offer free training for basic IT stuff, like, for example, basic programming skills in Python, or even how to use Word or PowerPoint, and have a system where people that can afford it will pay for it, and will then basically cover the cost for the people that cannot afford it. Yeah, it's a small contribution, but yeah, we also want to use it as a platform to explain and take the fears out of crypto. Yeah, that's one idea we had, and we're close to starting now implementation and onboarding new members.
Yeah, it's a cool project. I mean, I suppose what I'm wondering is the barrier that I can imagine somebody who is signing on in the UK and thinking, oh, I wonder about this crypto thing. How would you get it out of your wallet and then put it into your bank account when, if you're on benefits, any money that goes in, it's just like, and because it's not stable enough, your income would not be stable enough for you to be able to sign off. What I'm wondering is that for people who are not in that situation, what barriers did you find towards adoption, or whatever we want to call it? Is there anybody that faced any other barriers? Like, for instance, Jonathan, did you ever hesitate to get involved with Cardano, for instance? And what was the barrier?
So I didn't hesitate in Cardano at all, because but that was after I'd already become familiar, or educated myself on what crypto was, what Bitcoin was in particular, and what was different about it to any other form of cash or currency or investments. So then Cardano just made perfect sense, because it actually matched. I watched Charles's whiteboard video, and that sold me on a whole load of different ranges of it. The barriers that do exist, though, are interacting with our fiat world at the moment. So having to do your KYC, know your customer, have a physical address, is a barrier to crypto adoption still. If we can find a way around that, that'll be great. And what I'm excited for is true peer-to-peer payments, and moving on from that, away to the adoption of more vendors accepting ADA in particularly, or any DeFi crypto as payment for services, so that when we can start to see co-op, say for example, say they'll accept ADA payments. I mean, that would be a game changer, because suddenly then you've got the ability to move currency between wallets that anybody can set up without KYC, and then actually make payments for your groceries. Suddenly we then start to empower an economy that's very different to what we're living under now.
Yeah, that's a massive thing. I mean, certainly in the Homeless Hub project, when we mentioned crypto, that was the first question, is what can you buy with it? And it was like, it was kind of... Anyway, Stephen, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, I had the same problem where, how do you get the money out to spend it? That kind of, well, the ADA out to spend it. And one of the things that changed my mind a bit was that you can, in the UK anyway, there's this thing where you can buy shopping vouchers or shop cards with crypto, which was quite a revelation, because it means that you could buy stuff like groceries and books, for example, by buying cards. And that was the first time I thought that, right, okay, there may be something here. And I suppose there's other uses, maybe like for games. I've seen people using gaming stuff, but again, that's not going to pay your bills or put food on your table, but it can be fun, maybe.
I suppose just as we wrap up then, what I kind of want to get to is, let's imagine we're in a situation where you can buy quite a lot of things with a cryptocurrency, whichever one. How does that really change the economic landscape, or doesn't it? Are the poor still poor, or the rich still rich? Donal, I can see you've got your hand up.
Yes, yes. Hi, everybody. Firstly, big shout out to Jonathan. You were the first person I met properly in Cardano.
Very cool to see you.
So that's very cool. Yeah, I was like, oh, I haven't been on this the Project Catalyst call for God knows how many months. So weird coincidence that the only room I dropped into, and you're here. But yeah, what was that, about a year ago? Maybe over a year ago. Jesus, it's been a while. But yeah, I had actually a few points to raise also on the last one, where I guess maybe in the Cardano ecosystem there's not as much, but I do feel that I think we should be judging it across the whole industry. And I do think there are more and more use cases and more vehicles or avenues to put crypto nowadays. And actually, probably in our last conversation, Jonathan, so my bit of background is I'm working here in East Africa, and have been for the last maybe 5 years. And what I do day to day is energy access, which is getting people access to solar. And our company, so actually the company I was at last time, we were working on a crypto project that has now since gone live, and it's fully oversubscribed, which is exactly a peer-to-peer lending, so that people with crypto could lend, which would help finance the solar, like the domestic solar kits that we would then sell on credit here in Uganda. So there's been a few other kind of, sorry, that project, Solar for Africa, or crowd, I can't remember what we called it. It was Solar Crowdfund for Africa with EWT, the Energy Web token. But I do see more and more here anyway. So I've now moved to Nairobi, and there's just so many more kind of exciting startups, use cases, different avenues for crypto. And I definitely agree that the off ramp for getting crypto back into fiat is definitely the kind of bottleneck at the moment. But what is exciting is it's certainly here in East Africa, where we already have a very, like, a dominant competitor to fiat, which is mobile money. There's already existing networks of agents that are very fluent at moving money between fiat and mobile money. So the kind of that human infrastructure, a lot of that's in place in large parts of Africa. So I do really think that if crypto can plug into them, it's not going to be as big a shift as it might be back in America or in Europe, where the regulations would, I think, slow everything down. So I think the optimistic picture is that with reasonably good, I guess, use cases and channels, I think it can be quite quick when it does happen. And yeah, definitely, I'd love to hear other people's thoughts on this. But I don't think, just to reply to the earlier point Jonathan made, I'm not so sure if KYC is as big a bottleneck here. I understand, obviously, that the philosophy of crypto is kind of libertarian. I don't want anybody knowing anything about kind of anything. But here, I guess it's a bit more pragmatic. So if it requires some level of KYC to get access to better services, I don't think that would be a huge issue. Like currently, to get a SIM card, to get any other service, you do need to give your national ID card or your phone number or something like that. So yeah, it's kind of optimistic to I think that leapfrog point that you made.
I was specifically thinking about access to crypto off ramps for homeless people and those who are outside of the system. So unless you have a physical address, it's quite hard to get any of that stuff done here. However, I am optimistic as well about some of these crypto cards that the centralized exchanges are offering. Hopefully there'll be an equivalent offered by some DeFi company soon, where you can actually top up your payment card, Visa, MasterCard, whatever is still current, and from your crypto wallet, and make payment that way. And that way you suddenly have access to your groceries and your bills, paying them with crypto. And I'm very, very excited about Africa and the way they leapfrogged us in terms of mobile adoption. It'll be the same thing. Hopefully they just bypass the whole onboarding of the masses into a banking system and a payment system based on crypto, rather than to go through the middlemen that we do it over here.
Cool. Has anybody else got any other points to raise on what's the point of crypto? What can it do for us? And can it even change the economic system at all?
Yeah, it could do so much, everything. But the thing is that it's just a tech, and it's about us humans actually doing it. There are many wet cypherpunk dreams about tokenizing synthetic assets like dreams or thoughts or time or listening hours spent or everything you can think of, could basically tokenize. But as everyone mentioned, we have regulations, and as long as no one is actually doing it, by doing it meaning creating a decentralized marketplace where everyone could swap any token instantly, until then we are a bit caged in. Also, universal basic income would be a piece of cake if we would not have Facebook and Google aggregating all the data that they're selling to advertising agencies. Basic attention token is trying to disintermediate and disrupt this, but they're having a very, very hard time going against the establishment. So in the end, this is the best tech and the best chance and the best options that we have for, I would almost call it salvation. But there will be, and there has to be, a huge like crash or coming down, or the falling of the tower, so to speak, in Taro languages, for people to really start behaving differently. I could, although maybe see it that it's being done in countries that have not had the blessing in disguise of industrialization as early as we did, and they don't have this huge bureaucratic apparatus up their asses, that they might actually pull this off. But then again, you need everyone contributing on a global and planetary scale. Otherwise, yeah, let's see. But maybe the planet will get smaller. We don't know what will happen next. But the technology is there for us to do good if we want so.
If we want to, yeah. Nice one for squeezing in a little tarot reference there, Dan. Nice one.
Of course. Always.
Oh gosh. Well, we've been talking for quite a while, so I think maybe we should wrap it up. But I just want to thank everybody for coming, and also just say that Homeless Posse have got a proposal in Fund 9, which I've just put the link to in the chat, hoping to basically learn a little bit more about the practical real world applications and encourage devs to come and talk to us about what they could make that would solve the real world issues that homeless people are facing, and basically engaging people who have lived experience in co-building and assessing what would be a useful DApp. So if you're interested in that, have a look and support it if you can. Okay, well, I guess we could wrap up, but also, if you've got any songs that you want to add to our playlist, please do. If you're in there already. What?
Sorry, the proposal is written by Homeless Posse, isn't it?
It is. Well, we kind of developed.
Yeah, that's cool.
We've developed it in the sessions that we've been talking about it. So.
Yeah, it's nice to see outside the community that happening. Yeah, this side.
That is amazing. I'm gonna give it a read. Definitely, maybe not tonight because I have to finish proposal and give some last minute feedback on some. But I definitely give it a look. Also, I'm doing proposal assessment, so I put that on my list.
Yeah, God, it starts tomorrow, doesn't it? Oh my God.
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh dear. Well, I'm going to switch the recording off, and thank you very much, everybody, for coming. I'm saying I'm going to switch it off. I can't actually find it. There we go.